So we're not going to get too much of our nice weather. I turned on streaming a bit early. Sorry about that, folks. We'll count down to exactly on the 6:15 mark. A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, Patricia and David. I'm not sure if there's too many people left listening because we only have 3 boats out there at the moment. I tell you what, coming into New Zealand as Zumax and Laris and Rewa did in the last 24 hours has not been a pleasant experience. And we're just reading that the climate watch for December is not going to be much better, but not quite as revolting as it has been, but certainly not much better. We can only hope for January. Anyway, I've just looked at also the pictures from the Mauna Loa eruption in Hilo, Hawaii. It's quite spectacular, and so far it's not hitting any populated areas, so they've got their fingers crossed for that one. Okay, we'll start at the north again. We have 3 boats tonight, Icy Red, then Pico, then Rubicon. Icy Red, Gulf Harbour Radio. Yeah, good copy, Ian. It looks like you've had a very lazy day. I hope you enjoyed it because it's not going to last. Over.
Southeast at 15 knots and 1.5 meter swell out of the east-southeast, 100 feet tide cover and 1024 on the bar. And all's well on board, over.
Okay, we have Icy Red 2432 17102 east on a course of 196 true, 5 knots, with southeast 15 and a 1.5 east-southeast swell. 100% cloud cover and 1024, but at least your forecast is a good, positive, cheering one. Here's David.
Yeah, moving you a little bit tonight to the south toward New Zealand. You will have some wind finally out of the northwest, it looks like, about 15 knots, 15 knots, a little bit stronger in the gusts maybe. There is a depression that is to the southwest of New Caledonia. As you head south, it's not going to affect you directly, but it will change the winds a fair amount. So my guess would be on Saturday about lunchtime, depending upon where you are latitude-wise, you could have westerly winds, or once you cross the little dividing line, which is about 27 south, the winds are going to be southeast, but there'll be wind, 17 knots on Saturday, and we'll take a look at what we guessed for Sunday. Sunday about lunchtime, yeah, they'll be southeast, and they're going to be around 15, 18 knots southeast. That's Sunday about lunch. That's the 4th of December. Over.
Yes, tomorrow sounds a lot better than the direction you've got to deal with at the moment, so I'm sure you'll be more cheerful tomorrow. Okay, we'll clear with Icy Red, we're all as well on board, and go to Pico, Gulf Harbour.
Good evening, this is Pico. How do you copy?
Oh, very good copy, Andreas. Go ahead.
That's nice. Okay, Pico is at 29 degrees, 57 minutes down. 173 degrees, 27 minutes east. We are on a course overground of 100 degrees on a speed overground of 4.5 knots. We have wind from the south mostly at the moment with 10 to 15 knots. And we have, I would say, 70% cloud cover at the moment.
Okay, Pico is at 2957 17327 east, 100 degrees true at 4.5. South quadrant winds 10 to 15 and 70% cloud cover. Not much progress today, but here's David.
Yeah, looking at tomorrow, and again moving you a little bit closer to New Zealand. So about lunchtime tomorrow, I think southeast winds in the neighborhood of 10 knots. And that depression is the cause of the cloud that you're getting, and it's off to your west a fair amount. I'll see what happens on Saturday. It really doesn't develop into too much, but it's tending eastward. But what that means for you, though, is winds will switch to, I think, the southeast by Saturday at lunch. Probably, well, you might see up to 18 knots, maybe a little bit more. Southeast 18 is the guess, and that's the third. And then looking at Sunday at lunchtime, as you get even closer to New Zealand, doesn't change much. Still out of the southeast, about the same speed, maybe a little bit less. We'll see what we can guess. Yeah, about 15, 16 knots, mean wind. That's Sunday the 4th, about lunchtime. So southeast, 15, 16, like that. Over.
That sounds good. We're looking forward to southeast winds because then we can heading more southwind at the moment. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, lovely signal there, and good evening to Sandra as well. All right, looks like Icy Red and Pico are going to be nearing the finish line sometime together. And Rubicon, hopefully we'll get there before them and get the red carpet out. Rubicon, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, I'll copy Rubicon.
Oh, very good copy tonight, which is fantastic. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, right now Rubicon is at 32 degrees 35 south. 174.46 east. We're running about 150 on a course, 4.5 knots, probably something like that. Wind is down from earlier, just around 18 to 20, where this morning it was 20 to 25 and higher. So southerly winds, kind of nasty out here, swells, and you know how it is. Lovely time.
No, I've forgotten how it is actually, Matt. We haven't been offshore for such a long time, but I am looking forward. I took our last load of stuff down to Chameleon today, and all we need is the fresh stuff when we get some decent weather. 3235 and 17446 for Rubicon. That's east. 150 true at about 4.5. Wind has dropped a bit, 18 to 20 now from the south, and a bit of a snotty swell. So, yeah, you'll be pleased when you get a few more degrees under your belt. Here's David.
Yeah, well, I've moved you to about 34 south tomorrow at about lunchtime. Maybe optimistic, but anyway. Shift of wind a little bit. Looks like southwest 7-8 knots. It's going to drop considerably by Friday at lunch, and we'll take a look at Saturday about lunchtime as well. Saturday the winds will pick up a little bit, but they look like they're going to be more southerly, maybe about 12, 13 knots like that. So southerly 12 to 13. That's Saturday the 3rd. Over.
Yeah, roger that, Dave. I saw on the GFS grid that it picked back up a little bit on Saturday out of the south, so it'll be interesting. And then Sunday, is Sunday going to slow down again, or we're just, what's going on with this high? Is it moving across, or what's happening?
Sunday, you're going to have easterlies, I think. Very, very light air. Lucky if we get to 10 knots as you get much closer to New Zealand. Sort of a dead area right there. So that's what I see anyhow for Sunday. That's Sunday morning. I'll see if it changes a little bit later in the day. Yeah, it's all over the place. You almost want to call it variable. And it's a small high, as you pointed out. That's just to the northeast of New Zealand. Very, very small, but unfortunately you're close to the center as well. So Sunday,
Use the
yeah,
fuel.
light air. I'm afraid you're going to have to start the motor. Over.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Thanks for that, David. Appreciate it very much. And you guys now, you're loading up for the summer. Did you get your haul out done? Is all that finished and taken care of?
Yeah, surprisingly, we didn't paint today this time round. We just hauled out and cleaned the bottom so that we could go to the Bay of Islands. But surprisingly, we didn't have much growth at all and not very many barnacles, because we were not in the Bay of Islands last summer. We spent the entire time at Great Barrier Island, which doesn't have the barnacle problem that you get up in the Bay of Islands. So this year, of course, it will be different. We're going to, well, we'll start at Great Barrier and then head up north. So I guess we're going to have the barnacles again. But yeah, it was almost, we could have done it ourselves if the water had been warmer. Over.
Yeah, roger that, roger that. Well, good on you. And it's nice to get ready, isn't it, to get out? Like you say, you need the weather now. So we're kind of wondering why we left Fiji. It's cold out here.
Yeah, you wait till you, what was the temperature this morning? 16 or 16 degrees when we woke up this morning. So hope you didn't didn't pack away all your duvets and blankets that you had last time for the winter. Over.
Yeah, roger that. We've got them. They're all vacuum bags, so I'm sure we're going to break them out once we get land, okay?
I know, I just don't know what's happened this year. It reminds me of the time we came into New Zealand, Opua, and we put, we didn't have Chameleon then, we had a boat that did not have a heater on board. So we put it on a mooring and we went into Pahia and we surveyed 3 or 4 motels. We were after electric blankets, spa baths and heaters. And we stayed there for a few days until we acclimatized. I wouldn't say it's that bad this year, and by the time you get here it theoretically might be better, but I don't envy the poor Rewa, Zumax and Laris folk who copped it when they arrived in the wee small hours, so they'll be really feeling it after Fiji and so on. But anyway, it will get better, as you know. Over.
Yeah, roger that, roger that. The Lunacaras, are they blooming yet?
Yes, I forgot to tell people that about 4 days ago. And I looked at my little I've got a, I was going to say miniature, it's, what do they call it? Bonsai Pahutakawa. And I thought, oh my goodness, the first flowers out. And then just driving around, we saw quite a few have just started in the last few days. And it's only the last few days because it wasn't last week. So, yep, they are out. So it's all pointing in a good direction. Over.
Well, good. All right. Well, we're ready to be there for sure, and it might take us a few more days just with all this southerly weather. So, hope for the best, and we'll look for you out there. Okay?
Yep, certainly. We'll be on up there in the January-February time frame. So yes, we'll still be on air till you get here. So don't dilly-dally too much. Hi to Elizabeth. Okay, we'll clear with Rubicon. Is there anybody else for Gulf Harbour? Nothing heard, and I bet Rewa's not on tonight. They'll be busy having a few cold ones or something like that, having cleared in today. Okay, everybody, have a very good evening, you folk still at sea, and we will be back again tomorrow night. Cheers, everybody.